Hey guys, a quick video on the Silent Air Compressors. Lots of people are building these air compressors, and basically all they are is a Freon compressor out of a refrigerator or a dehumidifier or an air conditioner. So they're really easy to put together, and I just want to show you a few things about this one here that I built. I call this one the crate compressor. So I built this compressor when I was a kid, and we used it around here all the time. We used it to pump up the tires on the field cars, the dune buggies, putting tires back on the bead. This was used for everything around here. Basically, you just turn it on, let it pump up a big tank or whatever you want. So if you have an old air conditioner or a dehumidifier or refrigerator that is not getting cold anymore, so you suspect that the Freon has leaked out of it, then you can salvage it to build yourself a silent air compressor. So this is a really easy compressor to put together, and basically you're going to take the compressor out of the air conditioner. Now, the air conditioner that this was taken out of, the gas was already out of the air conditioner. The air conditioner did not work anymore. The compressor turned on, but it did not get cold. So that meant that there was no Freon left in the system. So I'm not recommending for anyone just to cut a Freon compressor out of an air conditioner or a fridge to do this, because that's not what you do. You're going to let the CFCs into the atmosphere. So if you have an old air conditioner that works, then you're going to need to take it and get the Freon properly removed. You don't go ahead and just cut off lines on an old refrigerator or an air conditioner and let the Freon gas into the air. So the compressor was built really easily. We have our Freon compressor out of an air conditioner. We have the suction line here. We've just connected up a fuel filter. And this is just an old fuel filter. You can get those clear ones, plastic ones. That's what I used to have on it. And just another out of the output line, we just have a line to a gauge and a fitting. So that's all you need. There should be clamps on here. The clamps have been taken off. And now, basically, we've just put the compressor right into the crate, and it's just wire tied to the bottom of the crate. See, and it's in there pretty good, and it's on its rubber still. And we've utilized all the wiring out of the air conditioner, the capacitor, and everything else. And we've just taken all the wiring out and wired it back up exactly the way it was hooked into the air conditioner, minus the fan and all that. We're just using the compressor wiring. The only thing this compressor doesn't have is a switch, which it should have, but it still works. After years and years, this thing sat outside, so you just connect an air pig up to it, and away you go. That's all you got to do, and it'll pump up. And it's really quiet, so that's the advantage of using a Freon compressor. So I'll show you the air pig we used years ago, because we did not have the red air tank. Oh, look, the propane bottle. Of course, lots of people do this, but you do want to vent the propane tank before actually hooking it to a compressor. The best thing is to actually take the fitting off and then flush it with water. And all you have to do is just take fitting off an old barbecue. Very simple. And you want to take this one-way valve out of here. There's a little ball bearing inside. You want to take that out. So what I can do is I can just hook this right to the propane bottle. So I'll plug it in. And there we go. So the compressor will pump up a tank like this in reasonable time compared to, let's say, a 12-volt compressor or something like that. So it is usable somewhat to pump up car tires and whatever. If you close this, then the pressure will... So the propane bottle has a valve inside, so the air won't come out unless you put on this fitting. So what you have to do is you got to get another barbecue fitting like this one, and then you have to put a coupler on here. So either you can put a male fitting on here or the female snap fitting. So it depends on what kind of way you want to use this. So you can also do this with the older fitting as well. It's the same threads as this fitting here, and then you can just use it like this. Now, these bottles will accept both fittings, so if you only have the old school one, then there you go. So now we have compressed air in here, so it's not going to run a barbecue, but that's for sure. You can see how the regulator works there. So now there's a scent that they put in with the propane, so this bottle here will smell for quite a while. And so it's really best to take this fitting off, vent the tank, then remove this fitting, flush it, fill it with water. You could do it 2 or 3 times, and then you're safe. So you should lubricate the compressor once in a while, and what I used to do is I just turn on the compressor without the air tank. I take some air oil, or you can use transmission fluid, and then you can just put some in through the suction line here, and you can take the oil and you can just drip it into the tube, and it'll slurp it up, and that'll get into the compressor. You don't want to put too much. You don't want to put too much in there, but that should be good. So once in a while, you should actually do that. So now there's a couple advantages to these silent air compressors, or crate compressors, or whatever you want to call it, a poor man's compressor, is that it'll pump up to high pressures. So years ago, we were using this for an air rifle, so you could pump it up to about 250 pounds, and then you could operate the air rifle. The disadvantage to these compressors are that they pump up slow, they put a lot of oil into your air tank, a lot of moisture also builds up in them, and they will not start in the winter whatsoever. You have to take this in and let it warm up, or it will not turn on. And another thing is they will not start under pressure. So if there's pressure in the air tank, you will not get this compressor going. Oh, I have another compressor here. This one was converted, and a little Freon compressor put on top. You can see what it was before. It was for running air nailers and stuff. And basically, I've just put the Freon compressor on top, and it's very slow. Unfortunately, that compressor is way too small. If I had a larger compressor on there, then it would actually it wouldn't work too bad, but it's nothing to the CFM you're going to get out of a regular compressor.